Unlocking Marital Bliss.
I take this pleasure to welcome you to Unlocking Marital Bliss with Miss Cyrus Rod from the prestigious Sheraton Kampala Hotel. I am so glad that you have joined us this very afternoon, and we're going to have fun. There is no doubt. I want to ask you, do you have a phone? Are you on social media? Are you married? Can you be married and have a phone and still be on social media? That's a question. And another question is coming out. Is it a man's phone? Is it a woman's phone? Do you share passwords? Oh, it's my password, and the only way I can keep my phone and keep my marriage is that I leave the man's phone alone. Do you believe in such nonsense? Well, I'm here to clear your mind and save you. You don't need to believe in such nonsense. You can have a phone, social media, and you succeed. Join me shortly on Unlocking Marital Bliss as we put all of this together. Cyrus Rod, your host. See you in a minute. Good afternoon once again. You are watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Rod, your host. And I'm so excited that you tuned in. This is the #1 show in the land, and you will never go wrong every time you tuned in. I really appreciate people that bring in the feedback and all that, the testimonies. So much is happening that this particular show is changing your life. Thank you for tuning in. We are glad to hear such feedback. And tonight, I want to assure you, you're never going to be disappointed because we are going to be talking about phones, social media, and marriage. We want to proceed with our wonderful guests. It's a beautiful couple. And together with me, would you welcome Mr. and Mrs. Mijumbi? I'll start with Mr. Mijumbi.
Oh, wow. What a pleasure and an honor to be live here and to be, in this time as we share on that topic that you have introduced. I want to greet all those that are watching us.
Yes.
And I want to tell you that as we get on through this program, your life is going to be changed by the insights that we're going to break down with Cyrus Rod.
Thank you so much. And this is your beautiful wife.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I'm also so glad to walk with the most handsome man in the world. Yes, of course, he's the most handsome man in the world.
Come on now.
He's my pastor, he's my husband, he's my everything. And I'm also humbled so much to sit beside our good friend, our brother in Christ, family friend, everything. I'm so glad that we are with you. You've been so much of a blessing to us, and we are so proud of you. Every day we celebrate you, we salute you for the love.
Thank you so much. This is Letitia, and I have David.
Yes.
Thank you so much for accepting once again to come and talk to our people, because I've watched your marriage, I've watched you guys grow, and I've watched you succeed. Tonight, how long have you been married? Because our viewers want to know.
Yeah, we've been married now for 7 years, but we are soon making 8 years.
Yes.
That is the 4th of May.
Oh, congratulations. You know what? Because the reason I asked you is I really have a problem with men. You ask them when they get married and they're like, I don't know. Whoa, I'm an African man. Let me help some of you. Being an African doesn't mean you're ignorant, okay? Being an African doesn't mean you don't celebrate your anniversary. So this ignorance should never depend on ethnicity, okay? Yes, you better know when you got married. And I really salute you, Mr. Mijumbi. It is 4th of May.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got married to this beautiful lady.
4th of May.
Yeah. I walked her down the aisle, so it was such a great time on the 4th of May. I'll never forget it. Because I came, that was a time when my life changed because I met such a beautiful lady, not only on the outward appearance,
but on the
also
inside.
in the inside.
Actually, Pastor Sarah's Road, people who see us, they think we've just met each other.
Because of the love.
I love this man.
Oh, my God.
And he
What?
knows it. He knows how much I love him.
You see, now look at this. Here I have a woman married, coming to 8 years, and she's so excited. I love this man. She's she's ecstatic. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm so glad to have you here.
Amen.
And tonight we want to talk about the phones and social media and marriage, and see how, because many marriages have been broken, and everybody blames the phones and the social media, and other marriages are standing like yours, because I've seen the two of you ministering on social media, and you've been going on. So I'll have a few questions that we can discuss. You say that you are married, coming to 8 years. Do you both have phones, or you don't have phones?
Oh, come on. We are living in a time when almost actually everybody is getting a phone. Now, acquiring a phone is something easy in Uganda.
Okay.
So I have a phone, and she does have a phone too.
Oh, are they smartphones?
Smartphones, yeah. I got a smartphone, an iPhone,
Okay.
and then an Infinix. Actually, last time she bought me an Infinix
And he
as a
bought
gift.
me, and he bought me the one I have.
Now you bought her a smartphone, and you bought him a smartphone.
Yes.
Okay. Like a gift, huh? Okay, now that both of you can even buy each other smartphones, some people watching us cannot believe that that can happen. How can you buy him a smartphone? He's going to go and begin sleeping with other girls and chatting with other girls. How can you do that? How did you buy that man a smartphone?
Pastor
Ain't you
Cyrus,
scared that he's going to be chatting with other women?
let me tell you something. Trust is built. This is not something you just wake up and like, I trust someone. We have given you a story that we've been together, now it's coming to 8 years.
Yes.
No, 8 years of trust, 8 years of patience. I've been with David. I know what David can do.
And what he can
and there
do.
was a time, Pastor Cyrus, but let me tell you something. There was a time when David had a smartphone and I didn't have a smartphone. Yes, there was a time. Actually, Pastor Cyrus, to tell you the truth, it is David who taught me how to use a smartphone, how to be on Facebook, WhatsApp, because I found him, he had the knowledge, and I didn't have the knowledge of all those
So
things.
he introduced you to social media.
Yes.
Now, that is so wonderful. A man introducing the woman to social media. Now, that is what I did to my wife, introduce her to this stuff. And it's totally good and totally believable. It's not something you can fight against or come against. Now, he introduced you to social media. David, I'll ask you, weren't you scared?
Scared of what?
They might take Letitia. You don't just introduce her to social media.
You know,
There are many men watching us out there thinking, what? I keep my wife off social media. That's the only way to keep my marriage.
You know, one thing I want to tell the viewers out there, if you are scared that somebody is going to take your wife, that means you don't know who you are.
Wow.
You know, the people who fear to take their wives have not discovered who they are.
Wow.
Now, if you think there is out a man who can snatch your wife, then you ain't a man.
Ooh, Lord. I love this.
If I am a man enough, no man can snatch my wife.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're right.
You know, I know you're a good-looking man. You dress well. You speak such a great English. But I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm not afraid
You know
of
who
any
you
man.
are.
I know who I am.
Yes.
You know,
My
if I know who I am, then I have no reason to have insecurity of what is going on. I don't have to have insecurity. Now, I have assurance that I have this woman in my hands and she's got me. So how can I be afraid? All I do is introduce her to what can make her better.
Wow.
You introduce her to what can make her better because you're not scared that anybody is going to steal her.
Actually, I want to make her better than I found her.
Wow. 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 And you've done
So
that.
if social media is going to make her better, WhatsApp and communication systems, then I'm going to introduce her to that.
Wow.
Okay, so now you're talking about social media can make her better. That means she can access and reach out to more people. She can communicate better. She can get to more information and she can be a better woman. She has attested to that, that she's a better woman. From the time you introduced her to social media, she's a better woman, not a worse woman. Now, that is something that is so positive. The next challenge we have, you have all this going on. Yes, you introduced her. And I love it when you say, I am not scared of any man. Because if any man takes my wife, or if I'm scared that they're going to take my wife, then I don't know who I am. Because if I know who I am, I know how I treat my woman, and I know how to handle my woman. And that means she's already mine. And no man comes to steal her away from me. Is there anything, before I get to Letitia, is there anything called so-and-so stole my wife?
One thing
Do they steal women?
They cannot steal your wife.
They cannot steal your wife.
They cannot.
Now, Letitia, can they steal that man?
From who? From me.
Yeah, that they, like, ladies are going to steal your man because he's on social media. So they're going to steal your man.
Pastor Cyrus, even if I leave David, I give David out just for only 1 week. You cannot even handle to be with another woman. You always run back to me. Why? Because Pastor Cyrus, this is my husband. There is no other woman who can handle David the way I can handle him.
What is this talk about stealing men, stealing women?
Pastor
Do
Cyrus,
they? Are you guys ready to be stolen, just waiting there to be stolen? And dude, are you waiting to be stolen? What's
No,
this
they
talk?
steal boys. They can never steal a man.
good.
A boy can be stolen, but a man is a man. You know, being a man is not being like female. I mean, like male. Being a male figure does not qualify you to be a man.
be a man,
No.
absolutely.
Being a man means you are able to stand on your 2 feet and stand for what you know and what you believe.
So you are able to take responsibility.
Responsibility. Now, if you're gonna steal me, it is a sign I wasn't a man, I was a boy. I didn't know what I want. Now, I am exposed enough. I've been telling my wife, you know, that, you know, one time I had an opportunity and I went to America. And when I went to America, I stayed there 4 months. And then, you know, I went to some churches there. And then they brought some girls that I could marry them and get citizenship. And the girls gave me invitations into their lives. And guess what? I said, this is trash. I cannot be taken. I know who I am. I'm not in America to be married by a woman to get citizenship. By then, actually, I had not yet married her.
Yes,
But we were in courtship. And then I flew back to Uganda and married her. So if I was to be taken by those little girls in America, then I wouldn't be a man.
Yes.
You know, you don't become a man when you marry.
No.
You become a man before you marry.
Thank you.
So if you think you're gonna be a man after marrying, then you are not getting it right. You become a man before you marry. You don't walk into a relationship to practice what you have not learned.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You literally are a man before you marry.
Before you marry.
And it's men that marry. Boys never marry. If a boy goes ahead to marry, that's the chaos we see in marriages today, because a boy went ahead and married. He didn't know what it means to be a man, to take care of a woman, love a woman, be there for a woman, and lay down your life for that woman. That's what it takes, being a man. You literally, you know, there's a word Paul declared. He said, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I acted like a child. But when I become a man, I put childish ways behind me. And the number one characteristic of a child is self-centeredness. In other words, I'm very selfish. All I think about is me, what's in it for me. That doesn't make you a man. A real man knows how to love. When you fail in love, you've failed as a man. I'll say it again. When you fail in love, you failed as a man. This business of, oh, she don't do this, she don't do this, she don't do this, that don't make you a man. That's a boy screaming and complaining. But real men are able to stand and lay down their lives, whatever it takes. They are willing to be the knight in shining armor, to come and save that beautiful girl stuck up in a castle. They will bleed to get her out. That's what manhood is all about, and that's why real men cannot be stolen.
Yeah.
You're still boys. Now, I want to ask, when it comes to you, he has a smartphone, you have a smartphone. I've seen the two of you broadcasting on Facebook, and you're using one phone. Is there anything like you people having, who owns the phones in your home?
Pastor Sarah's, actually, you've talked about something very important. We use one phone to do the broadcast. There was a time when my husband came on the broadcast, he put his account on my phone. We switched accounts. So he left his account opened. Pastor Sarah's, I was perusing through.
Hold on. He left his account open.
Yes, on my phone.
Okay.
So I was perusing through, thinking it was my account. But I was seeing different, like friends I don't have, some I have. I didn't know that it was his account.
Yes.
Then the moment I noticed it was his account, I didn't have time to check. For what? I just switched to open to my account.
Letitia. Women watching you over there thinking, that girl is not
opportunity.
real. That girl is not real. That's what you've been waiting for, to grab whatever you can and pin this man, all these girls around.
Pastor Cyrus, one thing David has built in me, as I told you in the beginning, is trust. There is nothing to hide. First and foremost, David's phone is always available, Pastor Cyrus.
So now we're talking about transparency.
Yes, it's
You're open to one another.
There is nothing to hide. Pastor Cyrus,
So he can access your Facebook account, you can access his Facebook account, and you can peruse and you're not bothered.
I think even Facebook account is too small. He can access my phone.
Okay, now we'll talk about phone, social media. He can access your phone.
Yes.
He knows the password?
Jesus Christ, ask me his password and I'll tell you. I know his mobile money, pin code, I know it. I've just sent someone money.
Using his phone.
Didn't you see me there? I asked for his phone.
I saw you.
Yes, and I was...
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching real people. These are not people from Mars. They're real people, okay? They never fell from Mars. They are enjoying marriage. They're succeeding in marriage. And most of you are watching, and I've had some of you say, hey, a man's phone is a man's phone. But listen to what she's saying. You're saying that you can access the phone. In fact, I saw you using his phone and you sent money. And he wasn't wondering, who are you sending? Give me that phone. Whoa. I mean, this thing that goes on and people are wondering, how can you make it that you know his password? Because I think 9 out of 10 couples out there don't know anything about passwords. Because he doesn't know your password, you don't know his password. And you've been told, I've had it there, women, leave men's phones alone. Do you believe that? Is there anything like that? Leave men's phones alone?
Yes, actually, in some seminars, women's seminars, I've attended, I've heard that. Women start
But you believe
checking,
that stuff?
Pastor Cyrus, there is no need of checking if there is communication in marriage, if there is trust.
That's what I wanted to bring out of you.
Yes, but as long as the communication is proper, Pastor Cyrus, do you know why people check their spouse's phones?
Because their communication has died.
The moment you don't communicate, do you know that some women actually, Pastor Cyrus, because it is mostly done by women, they don't want to check, but because of
Lack of communication.
breakdown.
Yes.
When there is no communication in a relationship, it results in undressed issues, suspicions,
Yeah,
assumptions.
Yes, because when the lines are not straight in communicating, everything else changes. When the lines are not straight, I will keep trying to find out what is happening with his life because he's not talking to me anymore.
Yes.
What is going on in his life? Because in real marriage, you're supposed to be open to one another. You're supposed to be an open book to one another. Mr. Mijumbi,
Yes, sir.
look at this. Lines of communication. where you can talk to your wife and be open to her and tell her, I have 1,000 shillings in my pocket. Do men do that? Or you're scared when you speak like that, she might leave you? Because this is what causes the communication breakdown.
Now, the communication breakdown will birth a lot of stuff that you cannot handle. When communication, communication builds connection.
Absolutely.
Without communication, there can never be connection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever you see in your marriage there ain't connection, it is a sign the communication is not healthy.
Yes.
There can be communication, unhealthy communication.
That's true.
But I'm talking about healthy communication.
Yes.
When all of you are on level ground, on the same page.
Yes.
Now, the moment you,
transparent to one
transparency, when that happens in a relationship, then insecurity will run away. Insecurity can never step where there is healthy communication.
Thank you. That's true.
Insecurity steps in the moment communication breaks out.
Yes.
Now, why would you be afraid of telling your wife how much you've got? Why? Or even your husband. Now, that is a sign. Let me break it down. Let me break it down. Now, if I can give my life to you, how come I cannot give anything else to you? Because what is most important to me is my life.
Yes.
Now, if I come and say, and I vow and say, from today, I give you my life, I give you all, and then one day I wake up and I fail to give you my phone, I fail to give you access into my life, then I am a crook, I am a cheat, I am a hypocrite. So what I believe is, if you claim, let me say you claim, that you gave your life to that lady, you gave your life to that man, and then at the same time you cannot be open, then you are a liar.
Thank you so much. You're so true. You've brought it out so plainly and very clearly, because my life is more important than my phone. I can change phones, but I can't change lives.
True.
I have one to leave. So if I'm going to give somebody my life, it's just the same. How can I give you my body, but I can't give you my phone? I mean, it's just literally mixed priorities. I don't know which is which. And because I don't know who I am, so I don't know what holds more value. I think the phone holds more value when in actual sense my life holds more value.
True.
So now that you've made it so clear and you've said, I give you access to my life. That's where transparency begins from. When you read the Bible in 1 Peter chapter 3, he declares, husbands,
Love.
honor your wives. Honor your wives. That word honor, literally in the Hebrew, it refers to, when you look at it, because Peter was a Hebrew man, he was a Jewish man. So when you look at it, honor your wives in Hebrew, because Peter spoke Hebrew even though they wrote the letter in Greek. So in Hebrew, honor refers to, in that particular 1 Peter 3, refers to, it has an imagery of a man that opens a door. You get me? He opens the door to welcome you in. Now that he opens the door to welcome you in, this is what God is saying. Husbands, open your life, let her in. In other words, you can ever honor a woman until you are transparent before her. You give her access into your life, your bank account, your PIN card, to your mobile money, your password to your laptop, your computer, your everything. You tell her, this is who I am. And we're going to be back to break it down just in a minute.
Unlocking marital bliss. Unlocking marital bliss.
Thank you for coming back once again. You're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Rod. It's always a pleasure. By the time we took a break, I was defining and breaking down what it means to honor your wife. That literally it's about opening up your heart, the door of your life. and you tell her, come on in, baby. This is who I am. This is Cyrus Rod. This is who I am. I have 1,000 shillings in my pocket or $1,000 in my pocket. This is all I have, and this is what I can handle, and this is me. That one takes courage when you come to honor a woman. You can buy her a limousine. You can buy her a Porsche. You can buy her an AMG Mercedes-Benz G63. Buy her all that stuff. You've not yet honored her until she knows you inside out. You literally reveal yourself. Mr. Mijumbi.
Yes, sir.
Pastor David Mijumbi.
Yes, my brother.
It's a moment of honoring that we have failed at, that has caused women to check phones, to do all this, because instead of us giving them everything about us, how we're moving, what is going on, we are so scared. Why are men scared of opening up to women?
Now, I want to bring it like this. You know, it's both-sided. It's women and men. However, the main character in this scheme of hiding phones or scenario are men. Because they are egocentric, you know, they have this ego, don't check my phone. You know, they'll put in different passwords. If you find your man, today he has put in this password, the next day he has put in another password, then it is a sign he is not faithful, probably hiding something to you. Pastor Cyrus, let me say this to everybody that is watching us. Some men have died, and then they leave their wives behind only to suffer. And the wife does not know anything whatsoever. He doesn't have access to the accounts that you've got, but you have toiled with this woman for years, working with her, and after you die, the woman, because she has no access to your accounts, to your secrets, to your business ventures, now the children begin to suffer.
Because you're the man, you've been an idiot.
You've been an idiot, exactly.
Yes.
Actually, that's a great word.
Yes, because it just doesn't make sense. How do you get all your secrets, keep them away from your wife, the only woman who takes care of your babies, and then when you pass away, your friends take all that stuff, and you say, oh, he's my best friend, and they've taken all these things away.
It is happening, everybody. You can testify. If you're watching us, wherever you're watching, you can testify. It is no longer a mystery in our nation and around the world. You find people suffering, and yet their husbands were very rich. And at the end of the day, all the assets have been taken by either friends, relatives. But this woman who is remaining behind with the kids is suffering simply because you were hiding everything from her.
Because many men have been told that if you show a woman everything you have, then she will begin familiarizing you and treating you with contempt. Is that true? That when a man opens himself up, then you begin treating him with contempt?
Pastor Cyrus, I think even it depends, Pastor Cyrus. Because last time we were sharing with a friend of ours, and he told us how he began with his wife. He opened up to his wife, gave the wife a good business. Then when the wife came out, she became the boss lady. She forgot that this is the man. And
Who
then,
empowered me.
Yes, who empowered me. And then the man changed. But not all women are like that, Pastor Cyrus.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah,
we
there's
call-
some that can be able to go the wrong way.
Yes, Pastor.
And the cause of them going the wrong way, it's still, we're going to go back to the husband who's supposed to make sure they don't go that far.
Pastor Cyrus, we call that the paranoid issues.
Yes.
Paranoid issues. You have illusions. Because someone else did it, so-and-so's wife did it, I swear the couple, they suffer something, you push this the same, your family history into your marriage. Because your father did that, you also think women are supposed to be handled like that.
You think all women are the same?
So, Pastor Cyrus, paranoid issues have also killed marriages.
Because I'm so scared. I'm in suffering from paranoia. Yeah, my
You have
friend's
delusions.
wife did it.
Funny-
Then my brother's wife did it. then no, it's not a copy and paste. Your wife is different.
Thank you so much.
And as long as you love her and show her the path, she's never going to go into
Your
errors.
first relationship, which didn't work, is not the present relationship, Pastor Cyrus.
So I don't carry my nonsense
Into the present.
in the other girlfriend I had and I bring it over in my marriage.
That's what is killing it all, Pastor Cyrus.
Pastor David,
Yeah.
now you've had that. It's not necessarily true that every woman is going to mess up the marriage or going to, destroy you after you reveal yourself to them. I think this is a problem of the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection causes us to step back and we never open up because we think if we open up, then they're going to reject me. And when they reject us, then we think the relationship has come to an end. But I think this is a moment where we need, as men, to start without fear of rejection, opening up to our wives, show them the password. In fact, I love what you said. When you talk together and communicate, you mentioned communication. When you're succeeding at it, you have no problem with phones.
Pastor Cyrus.
Phones are just a minute part of your relationship.
Pastor Cyrus, there is also a component of inferiority complex.
Yes.
Some men have what they call, they feel inferior in them, eh?
Yeah.
They feel like I'll lose my manhood if I open up to this woman, if she knows how much I have, if, there is that inferiority in them.
So they believe that manhood is about me, secrecy. And that makes me a man.
A real man is supposed to have that secrecy part of life. A real man, you don't open up what you have. But Pastor Cyrus, life is short. You can't predict what will happen tomorrow.
And in fact, I'm going to doubt what they talk about a real man you cannot open up. A real man is able to open up. Look at Jesus Christ. He opened up, in fact, so much that he was stripped naked.
Thank you.
Before the whole world.
Thank you.
And there was nothing to change. He was stripped naked. But he opened up. He said, this is who I am. You're going to love me. You're going to take me in, reject me. But this is who I am. I think the insecurity you talk about, the secrecy you talk about, is brought in by a lack of knowing or a lack of belonging. Whereby I know that I am loved, I'm accepted, so I'm not scared to open up. People need to know how much God loves them, how much God has accepted them, before they can reach out to the spouses. Because it is so hard to reach out to spouses without knowing how much you have been loved. Me knowing how much God has loved me has given me strength to be transparent with my wife. Because there's nothing to hide. I know God loves me. God accepts me. There's nothing to hide. Transparency. You said it. This communication where transparency falls brings the connection. So no matter how much I'm trying to work out, if I am not communicating, my connection levels, my bonding levels will be very poor and my marriage will finally fall apart. Pastor, when you look at all these things happening today, there are men out there. They say, she said it, because of what happened in the past, I cannot risk opening up. I cannot risk opening up because of what happened in the past. But now, apart from that, they say, a man's phone is a man's phone. If you want to have peace, especially the Letitias, women, leave the man's phone alone. And it's being taught in churches by some losers. They teach this nonsense. If you want to have peace, leave the man's phone alone. Letitia, did they tell you that?
I've been hearing that.
Then do you believe in that? She should not touch your phone. Otherwise, she will discover things that will break her heart. What type of reasoning is this? Please break it down.
Let me break it down. Now, if you are married to your past pain, you are divorced to your future praise.
That's beautiful.
If you keep married to your past pain, past, like disappointments.
Experiences.
Then you are divorced to your future praise.
Yes.
From your future, like some people are taking other people's experiences and applying them in their current relationships.
Yes.
That is evil.
Yes.
Now, this is what I would say. If I was able to open up to my wife, what more should I open up? What else should I hide? Let me say this to those who are viewing me. Right now, my wife knows my account. My wife knows my password of my email. She knows the password of my mobile phones,
Yeah.
the mobile phone numbers,
Yes.
She knows the password to my Facebook. When I got an iPhone, I had, somebody gave me an iPhone 7 Plus,
Yes.
and then it is unlocked by the fingerprints.
Yes.
I just told her, honey, come. This phone gives us this gadget, an alternative that you can also put in your fingerprint. Then I put her finger there. Now, she doesn't have to call me to unlock my phone.
She will access the
She
phone
accesses
anytime.
my phone. Now, if she could access me, what more should I be hiding? I've seen this happening in the church. You find pastors, they are downcasting their wives and they are putting them low, and these wives are suppressed every day, and the man of God is flying around with different people who know his secrets, and the wife does not know anything. What kind of a life is that? That is not the life that we should live. You should be able to open up everything. Let me tell you this. You spoke something previously that, some men are fearing to open up because they think that if I open up and she takes all that I have, if I expose my account and she drains it, I want to tell those people like this. A woman will only steal what you have if she doesn't have you.
That's it.
When a woman begins to not have you,
She will go for what
she
you
will
have.
go for what you have.
Absolutely.
Let me say this.
That's a good one.
In the Bible, there is in the Bible there is a woman called Esther. Esther goes before the king Ahasuerus. And then she was feeding the king for 3 days. And then the king one day calls Esther, the queen, and says, "Now, tell me, what do you want? Even if it means to give you half of my kingdom, I'll give it to you.
Yes.
Tell me, I'm ready because I love you. I'm ready to give you half of my kingdom." Listen to what Esther said. Esther was not interested in half of the kingdom because she knew that if this man is willing to give me the kingdom, then I got him.
Yes.
If I got him, I got the kingdom.
Yes.
If I have this man, that means I cannot run for what he has if I have him. The woman will only run for what you have if she doesn't have you. She has no confidence that she is with you for tomorrow.
So she will have to secure her future,
Her future.
by getting what you have.
That's why she's going to steal some money to build a house in the village behind your back.
And you are held responsible because you've not given yourself to her. If you just give yourself to her, these other things will fall in place. And I love the way you've presented it. Our viewers are having a blast. I mean, when a woman doesn't have you, she will go for what you have. And this is what happens. And today, the same thing is happening with men. When a man is not having a woman, he's going with whatever woman has. You get it? He's going with whatever woman has. And this is what is happening. When you come out, a woman discovers that this is a real man. She will not only give herself, but she will give everything she has. Everything she has. Nothing. People say women hide money. But it doesn't make sense. Why would a woman hide money when she has you? When she has you, she doesn't need to hide money. When she has you, these things are yours. She will give you everything. Remember the woman, Mary, who was a prostitute. She had never met a real man. Every man who saw her wanted her body. Every man who saw her wanted her body. So she reduced herself to literally using every man she could get. Pay me, pay me, pay me. You know, she never knew what it means to meet a real man. One day she comes face to face with Christ. And she looks at this man and goes, wow. She runs home, gets hold of her perfume that she had hidden away from everybody. A whole year's wage. It took her an entire year of earning to buy that perfume. And she brought it. And she broke the bottle and poured it at the feet of a real man. When a woman discovers a real man who doesn't love her body but loves her, she will hide nothing from that man.
She will do anything.
She will do anything no matter what it costs her.
Ask me. Ask me.
I'm asking you now.
Me.
Huh?
Ask
When you discovered David,
Ask me.
when you discovered David as a real man, who didn't want to use you, who didn't want to just come after your body, but wanted Letitia, the one inside, what did you do?
Pastor Sarah's. Those days when I used to work, when I could get my salary, this is what I used to do. The first person I think of was David. Not even my children. David is my first priority. Even before I bring the children, David comes first.
Now there's some men who, so if a man is complaining, you don't take care of me, you're taking care of the children only, that means he's not being open to you enough for you to enter his life and begin spoiling him up.
So I ran to the kids. But now because, Pastor Sarah, when a man loves you, there is nothing cannot. Actually, you're not even forced to do it. But this love that he gives you, Pastor Sarah, we women, by the way, to the men who are outside there listening, we women are not after money, Pastor Sarah.
Thank you,
It's not
thank you.
about money.
Would you just put a little bit of pause over there? Some of our viewers watching us are thinking, no, you don't know women. You're just talking because they're on TV. Yeah, you don't know women. Women want money. And some women today are thinking, if you don't have money, don't talk to me. So some of the women have been reduced to being objects. They don't think they're human enough, so they sit in for money. If you don't have money, don't talk to me. Well, you are reduced to an object and you have deceived yourself, so you're abusing yourself, and all you do is tell the men to give you money, so they abuse you too because you don't know who you are. But I appreciate what you're saying. It's a fact. It's a truth. Women are not after money. The reason they go for money is because they've not found you.
Pastor Sarah, the moment there is an element that I cannot have you as my husband, I'll look for something else that you have to destroy you. I have a pastor's wife I was talking to some few days back, and she was telling me, Pastor Sarah, that they had the cars, like 3 cars in a home. They had money. Everything was there. They have a good home. But she didn't have the husband's heart. So what she did was this. She went before God, started praying, God, take away the money that you gave us. Take away all the cars. Take away all the connections. And God was so faithful. He had the prayer. He took away everything they had. What happened next? The woman, she's so happy. She's like, now I thank God. My husband is at home always on time. We're always together. Why do you push your wife to start praying for poverty in order to have you?
Good question.
Why? Why should you
question.
push your wife to press, to have such a prayer? Why should you?
Because we've not been open enough. That woman saw the riches, but she never saw the husband.
Thank you so
The
much.
husband was never there. The husband became a secret to the woman. But now it's about transparency. No matter how much you have or what you get, you gotta open up. One time we were somewhere and I was reaching out and purchasing a plot of land. And this gentleman looked at me. He was an old man. And he said, okay, so I put everything is in your names. I say, no, you're going to write, we're going to have my wife's names, put in these names and say, who's this? I say, that's my wife. And he said, son,
Wow.
you better be careful.
Wow.
I am an old man, but women, women change. You're going to lose everything if she changes and takes everything away from you. I told this man, if she takes everything away and she goes, she will never find a man like me.
Thank you.
She will move around
Come on.
and circle around and come back to me. Because I'm the only one who can treat her good, and she will come back to me. So to me, it's not about that I'm scared I'm going to lose. Everything I have is hers. The only thing I have is her. The rest belongs to her. The other day, I was stopped by a police officer, traffic. And he stopped me and he said, hey. Okay, he looked at the car and then looked at the third party. And I rolled down the window and he said, hey, you're driving a woman's car? And he laughed. I said, yes, sir, I'm driving a woman's car. And he laughed and said, be serious. I said, I'm serious. You saw the names? That's my wife's car. I said, oh, your wife's car? So, you don't have a car? I say, I only have her. I only have her. That's my wife's car. I only have her. And the man looked at me and he just shook his head and said, well, everything is okay. And I say, officer, I want to bless you. I know it's too hot out here. I want to bless you. You go and buy water and just enjoy yourself. And one day you drive your wife's car too. And he laughed and I drove off, you know. But this is what we need to bring. When I give myself to her, I can give her presents, but until I give her my presents, I've wasted all my presents.
Oh, yes.
So what a woman needs is that, me, not things. Things will fall in place. I know our time is running, but I've enjoyed dealing with the two of you. You guys, you know each other, the passwords, everything. That's the transparency that builds a marriage. But before we really close, I want to challenge Letitia to look into the camera and speak to the men that are hiding their phones away. Oh, no. He'll speak to the man. You speak to the women that are hiding their phones, because there are women doing the same thing. Speak to them. How can you encourage them to build communication again? In a minute.
Actually, to the women who are listening outside there, communication is the most important thing. If you feel there is something you need, by the way, before actually when I go to that side, there are moments when I'm tested. Not that I don't have eyes that I don't see, not that my husband doesn't have eyes that doesn't see. In such moments, I open up to my husband, I speak. There are this kind of men whom you come and approach and you tell him the truth, and the truth will cause you trouble. But how do you handle it? You rather than hiding your phone from your husband, avoid. You actually, Pastor Cyrus, let me first come back to you. We women, we can always tell that this person is after me, because we usually hide phones. What do we hide? Men who are after us. When you get money, you don't want your spouse to know. But let me tell you something. I'm advising the women who are outside there. Do what is right, regardless of what your husband is doing. The moment you do what is right, you're inviting God to come in and start fighting for you. Even if your husband hides his phone, don't hide yours. Yes. Even if he hides the money, present the money. You work, present it. Others will call you a fool. Others will call you an idiot. They will say you have no brains. But let me tell you something. Don't fight for yourself. Let God fight for you. The moment you present it on the silver plate, you present it to him. The money I got is here. My phone is always here. You're teaching him in return. You'll be
how to be open.
Yes, and that way God will come in to fight for you.
Hallelujah. You heard her. Yes. And before I close, you got to be open. You never let a man's behavior determine your actions.
Thank you.
No. He behaves that way, that's him. You determine what goes with you. Mr. Pastor David, I want you to tell us Please, in a minute, speak to the man out there.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much, Pastor Cyrus. I want to talk to the men that are watching me. That, hiding your phone is destroying yourself. Let me say it again. Whenever you hide your phone from your wife, you are not doing yourself a favor, but you are destroying yourself. Why? Because when you are hiding your phone, you are trying to show your wife that, I don't love you. I don't trust you. I've not yet given out myself to you. Hiding your phone shows that your phone is more important than your wife. Hiding your phone and everything, your password, Facebook and whatever, is a sign that I got what belongs to me and what belongs to you. So you ain't doing yourself a favor. So if you're hiding your phone, you are destroying the relationship and even the future. This is my advice to you. Let your wife see your phone. Actually, when you expose your phone, your wife will never look for a phone.
Absolutely.
Your wife is only looking for what you hide.
Wow.
Your wife will never look for what you expose. Everything on the table will never be looked for, but everything hidden will be sought after. You can never look for something that is seen in the limelight. You only look for what is in darkness. Your wife is checking your phone because you've hidden your phone. When you expose it, like my wife, she doesn't check my phone. Whenever she says, David, I need your phone, I want to call somebody, even if she doesn't even tell me what she wants, she'll pick it up. Because when I expose my phone to her, it is nothing since I have already exposed my life to her.
Thank you so much. Now we've had it from Pastor David and Letitia Mijumbi. It's been a pleasure having them on set with us discussing phones, social media, and marriage. You can be able to succeed. I succeeded. I'm on social media. I have a phone, and they are living examples over here. So please, wherever you are, whatever you're facing, I want you to understand we can make it. Whatever you hide, you will cause somebody to seek after. Whatever you expose, then nobody's going to look for because it's open. Can you expose your life to your wife? Can you expose yourself to one another? That is going to help you. It's transparency. It will help you build a strong relationship, and it's a decision, even when you get back home, to control yourself. If you're on social media and you say, it's time for me to be with my spouse, for me to do this, and not become an addict to social media. And the reason you fall for it is because you're hiding stuff. Communication fails, everything else fails. I'll see you in a minute. Thank you for tuning in once again to the Unlocking Marital Bliss show. I told you it's going to be fun. We never remain the same. You come to understand that actually it's not just the phone. You don't blame the phone. You don't blame social media. You literally are in to blame yourself, okay? You get to understand. This is about transparency, and where transparency is, there is a bonding. Without transparency, you can never have a bonding. That is what I want you to understand. Even as we close this, transparency will lead to a bonding. And as long as you think the phone is mine and I cannot take this, I cannot remove it, you have come to the end of your life and your marriage. It's about transparency. Thank you for tuning in, and always remember, marriage is easy and ignorance is hard. I'll see you next time.
Unlocking Marital Bliss.